$3,938.58 a month. That's what the VA pays a veteran with an active melanoma at 100% in 2026, and that rating, it's almost automatic. But here's the part nobody warns you about. That 100% has a hidden expiration. 6 months after treatment ends, an exam can quietly take it back unless you know the one move that keeps a check coming after the cancer is gone.
Emma here. Active melanoma rates 100%. By definition, it's total disability. There's no partial score for it.
This is Nova, and melanoma has a code. Diagnostic code 7833 in the VA's skin schedule. Its two common cousins ride one code over. Basal cell and squamous cell carcinoma both sit at 7818. Same rulebook, 38 CFR 4.118. 3 cancers, 1 page.
Liam here, and my read is the code isn't the interesting part. How does a sunburn from 30 years ago become a claim today? Am I close?
Closer than you'd think. The pattern underneath every skin cancer claim is exposure. Years on a flight deck, a desert convoy, a radar site, the sun, the radiation, the burn pits. Your service put that skin in harm's way, and the VA can connect it.
And here's what most veterans miss. The cancer heals, but the scar it leaves is its own rating. Almost nobody claims it.
There's also a shortcut. For a lot of veterans, melanoma is presumptive under the PACT Act. If you served near burn pits, you may not have to prove the cause at all. We'll walk all of it. The 100%, the 6-month clock, the exposure paths, and the scar money nobody claims. The full conditions list and free tools live at va.professorerica.com. Before we start, one question shows up under every skin cancer video we make, and Emma pulled it off the comments. Emma, this one's yours.
Yeah, honestly, it's the one I'd ask too. Here it is. My dermatologist cut a basal cell off my nose at a civilian clinic. Is that even a VA thing? And the answer is yes, if you can tie it to your service.
That settles the doorway. Yes, it counts, and yes, you can claim it. Let's start with the money because the number is bigger than most veterans ever expect. A code doesn't pay anything, a percentage does. So what does skin cancer actually put in your account? Emma, run it for us.
Start at the top. Active melanoma, 100%. $3,938.58 a month, veteran alone. Then it heals, and the re-exam re-rates the scar. Say it lands at 30%. The VA cuts $3,386 a month. What's left is $552.47. By definition, that's where the money now lives. The residual, not the cancer.
And here's the pattern underneath, because it's where the real money hides. Basal cell and squamous cell almost never touch 100%. They rate straight on the scar and the disfigurement they leave. On the head, face, or neck, that's its own code, 7800. I call it the neck money because that's exactly the skin the sun in the field burned the most.
Wait, a scar pays more than the cancer did?
Sometimes, yes. Disfigurement on the head, face, or neck climbs in steps. 10, 30, 50, and as high as 80% for the worst of it. One deep, visible scar can outlast the cancer that made it on the schedule and in your check.
But be honest with yourself. A clean, healed excision with a thin scar, by definition, that can rate 0. The exact number depends on what's actually left behind.
So the 100% is real, the neck money is real, and a plain 0 is also on the table. Which means the exam that decides which one you get matters more than anything. And there's a clock on it. Quick, honest ask while we are here. If this has been worth your time so far, hit like, then subscribe, and ring the bell. I know everyone asks, but this one is free, and it is how a small channel like this actually grows.
Here's the twist I promised you up top. The 100% for melanoma comes with an expiration date.
Let me lay the clock out so nobody gets blindsided by it.
It holds through everything: surgery, chemo, radiation. Then, 6 months after your last treatment, a mandatory exam.
Liam, you've got the question every veteran watching is holding. Go ahead.
Does that 6-month exam measure the cancer or something else?
Something else. It measures what's left. The scar, the damage, not the cancer. That part's gone.
So the rating can fall.
Which feels like a punishment for healing.
It can. Cured, nothing left, the number drops. We owe you that truth straight.
So beating it costs you the rating?
In the cold sense, yes. But flip it. If melanoma comes back, you're active again. 100% resets.
So mark the day treatment ends. Your 6-month window starts there, not on any fixed date on a page. And you don't walk in empty-handed. What you carry into that exam decides the number. That's next. Here's a real fork, and it splits the comments every time. You had a basal cell removed. It healed clean. The scar rates 0 today. Do you even file the claim? Nova says file it. Liam isn't sure it's worth the paper. Let's pressure test both.
File it. A 0 today is not a 0 forever. Service connection is the asset, not the percentage. It's like jazz bass, the pattern under the song you don't notice until it's gone. Lock the link between your service and that skin now, while the records are fresh. If it ever comes back, you're already connected, and you reset to 100%.
Hold on. The asset? It pays nothing.
It pays in what it protects, not what it deposits.
My read is you're asking a veteran to fight for a check that reads $0. Where's the win? If the scar rates nothing and the cancer's gone, isn't that energy better spent on the knee that actually rates?
Fair question. Nova, answer the 0. What does a service connection at 0% actually buy him?
3 things. Free VA care for that cancer, for life. A locked effective date, so a recurrence pays from day 1. And the neck money. If that scar is ever re-rated for disfigurement on the face or neck, the door is already open.
Yo, my name is recurrence odds on one basal cell are tiny.
Tiny isn't 0, and a locked door costs nothing to leave open.
Liam, where's your actual line? When would you tell him to skip it?
Anonymously combat infra and seguir shurgum. Avorso franjuchi esto. But free lifetime care for the cancer alone, that's the number that moves me. I was arguing against a lock that's basically free. I'll take the lock.
Then here's the ruling, and the schedule backs it. The panel's verdict is file it. A healed skin cancer that rates 0 today still buys you free care for that cancer, a locked effective date under 38 CFR 3.400, and an open door to a disfigurement rating if the scar is on your head, face, or neck. The one honest caveat. Don't expect a monthly check on a clean 0. My recommendation is file for the lock, not the paycheck. So file the claim, name the exposure, and let the service connection do the quiet work. Emma has been holding down the paperwork side. Let's bring her back and get it filed right. Every dollar we've walked runs through one form and one link. Get the link wrong and a real melanoma claim stalls at the front door.
The link is the nexus. The doctor's sentence tying your cancer to your service. Presumptive melanoma under the PACT Act skips it. Everything else, you build it.
My read is most veterans never connect the dots. I'm the guy who pauses a documentary 5 times to look one thing up. Do that with your own service record. Where were you standing when the sun and the burn pits found you?
And the bar is lower than you fear. The pattern underneath every grant is one phrase, at least as likely as not, 50-50. You don't prove it beyond doubt, you tip it to even. Sun for the melanoma, radiation for the atomic veterans, burn pits for the presumptive path. Pick your door and document it.
This is exactly where I want someone who files these every week. Let's get her on the line.
Glad to jump in, and you already named the hinge. On a skin cancer claim, I want 3 things in the file: the current diagnosis, the biopsy or path report naming the cancer, and one clean clinician sentence saying it is at least as likely as not tied to your service exposure. unless it's presumptive melanoma, and then that link is assumed. Sun-caused and radiation-caused claims live or die on the exposure record, so pull your assignments, your deployments, and your dosimetry if you were ever around radiation. No exposure on paper, no nexus. Where does it go? VA Form 21-526EZ. Name the cancer in the condition column exactly. Melanoma, basal cell, squamous cell, and right beside it name the cause, sun exposure, radiation, or burn pits.
And the date matters. The exact number on your effective date is the day the VA receives this form. 38 CFR 3.400. So don't sit on it waiting for a perfect moment. That clock only starts when the form lands.
Am I close that the sun claims are the hardest? No burn pit presumption, just a tan from 1990.
You're close. A sun-caused melanoma without the presumption is the heavier lift because you're proving exposure decades back. But it's winnable. Buddy statements, your duty stations, a dermatologist who will write the nexus, and read your own records before the exam. Half your residual case is already sitting in them. That's where I'd start. Thanks for having me on. And to every veteran listening, get the skin checked, then get it on paper.
Thank you for that. Walk away with this. The sunburn was your service, the scar is your money, and the form is the only key that unlocks both. Here's the whole map in one line. Active melanoma rates 100%, $3,938.58 a month, and it holds through treatment. Then a 6-month clock, a re-exam, and a rating that reflects whatever the cancer left on your skin. And next time we stay right on the conditions list, with the hook that surprised me most. There's a way a scar you'd call cosmetic keeps paying for years, and it turns on which side of your collar it sits. Wait until you see how the map of your own face becomes a rating.
The piece I'm keeping is the exact number. A 30% scar pays $552.47. Small, until you realize nobody claims it at all.
Mine is the neck money. The sun burned the head, face, and neck the most, and that's exactly the skin the schedule pays the most to disfigure. The pattern was there the whole time.
And mine is the reset. If melanoma comes back, you're active again at 100%. That's the safety net most veterans never realize they're standing on.
So here's your move tonight. Pull up your own records and check 2 things. That your skin cancer is documented, and whether your melanoma is on the presumptive list. If both are true, most of your claim is already built. Subscribe if you want the rest of this map, because we're working the conditions one at a time, and a like pushes this in front of the next veteran staring down a biopsy. One last thing worth your 2 cents in the comments. Did the VA re-rate you after skin cancer treatment? And did you know the scar could be its own rating? You came, you learned, you leveled up. Professor Erica here. I will see you in the next one.